Last night was amazing. Sixers draft party by the Benjamin Franklin Parkway, by the Benjamin Franklin Institute. And guess what? We took Ben fucking Simmons. It was all about the Benjamins on Thursday night. Kyle Gaffner is here. I'm Adrian Fedque. Well, we got our man. Well, we got my man.
Yes, we did. We took your boy. Happy to say welcome to the Sixers, Ben. It's a joy to have you. Although I did want, Brandon Ingram. It's all right. I'll take this guy too. You couldn't go wrong with the first two picks.
No, not at all. And I'll tell you what, I've been very, very impressed with the way Simmons has been handling the interviews so far. Very calm and composed. I love what he's saying. I've been doing posts for Philly Influencer all week, so I've been listening to him a lot. I'm all Ben Simmons out, to be honest with you, but we'll get through this show.
You can't be all Ben Simmons out. He's the new face of the franchise. This guy's going to be here for the next 15 years. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be holding that chip up.
I've been writing about him every day for like 8 hours a day. I need a break. But hey, let's talk a little bit about what he brings to the table and maybe some things that we haven't talked about yet. Let's see. All right. One thing that I wanted to stress about Simmons is just how good he is on the fast break and how graceful he is in transition. And something that's not a lot of people talk about is he can clear the defensive glass and he can just go. And that saves you just that extra second because he doesn't have to find the point guard. He can just take it himself, and he just gallops down the floor like a thoroughbred. He's amazing to watch, and I just can't wait to see him play, man.
I am with you. He's a human highlight reel. He's going to bring some excitement back to Wells Fargo Center. He's going to get that place jumping again. It's been a while since we've had this type of excitement. He's a great rebounder, and it does save you that couple seconds from finding the point guard and setting stuff up from something bad happening like a steal, and killing that momentum. He could either dish it off or take it to the cup. I mean, do an awesome jam or, pass it off for that three. He's got that type of vision. It's going to be
he's ambidextrous. He can finish with either hand at the 10. He's amazing to watch. Another thing that people aren't really discussing and talking about much is how good he is in the post as well. Not only with the moves he has, but I love when they feed him the post and he just does that quick one-touch pass back out to the perimeter and guys are hitting threes. So he's unselfish. Yes, we kind of want him to get a little bit more aggressive, but that might come with time. But he can run the break and he's good in the post. Obviously, he's got to improve that jump shot a little bit, but he can literally do it all except shoot.
Yeah, and that will come with time. If he works on it, worked hard, because you've said it before, you can teach somebody how to shoot. It's all about how much he wants it. Does he have that killer instinct? Now, all I want to see is, with his first game, obviously being drafted number 1 is going to be a huge deal. So how long do you think before the fans start getting on him if he doesn't make that crucial play? Let's say it's down to that last second for the game winner, and he doesn't take it and kicks it off and they miss and they lose. Do you think the fans jump right on him if he doesn't come out of the gate scoring 25 and 10 and 5? Do you think they're going to get on him? Does he have any breathing room?
Oh, he's got a lot of breathing room because we're years away from contending, like truly contending. So I don't think it's going to take some time with that. But, if come playoff time and, say 3 to 4 years from now and he's doing some of the shit that LeBron James did in the 2011 NBA Finals, then sure, yeah, we're going to get on him a little bit. But
with level-headed fans like me and you, we understand that. But there's a lot of impatient people here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No doubt. But I think it's, we only won 10 games last year. So it's not like it's going to be vicious this season. I think this year it's going to be more like we just want to see him play. We just want to see all these pieces together. We're not really worried about the record this year because I don't think a lot of people realistically think that we're going to be a great team. So it's not like, they're really throwing him into the fire.
Yeah, I hope not. Well, I mean, it's just going to be exciting to watch. It's going to be fun because you can only go up from having 10 wins.
You never know.
Very true.
No, we'll be all right. The other thing that happened last night, a near deal with Chris Dunn. The rumored trade was Nerlens Noel, Robert Covington, 24th and the 26th pick to either Boston or Minnesota for the rights to Chris Dunn. And that never materialized. A lot of people on Twitter hated the trade. They had a poll today on Philly Sports Talk. About 98%, I forget what the final result was, but at one point it was like 99%, 98% were just vehemently disagreed with the trade. What are your thoughts on it?
I wasn't too big of a fan on that trade. I wasn't liking it, even if it did land us Chris Dunn. If you think about it, would Chris Dunn really put us over that hump and make us a playoff contender, make us a championship contender? No. So I am a huge fan of Nerlens Noel. I think he's essential to this team. He's an athletic big that can do a lot of things. He's a versatile defensive player. Yeah, he doesn't really have an offensive game. That's okay. We can wait till next year, for that draft class that's coming out. It's loaded with guards. We've got the Lakers pick, and we also have the swap with the Kings, and we have our own back from the Orlando trade. So I wasn't too big of a fan. Plus, I like Covington. He's a shooter. So I'm glad that they didn't, they denied us.
Well, I'll say this. Obviously, Jamal Murray was the guy that I wanted. Tell your dog to shut up, by the way. Jamal Murray was the guy that I wanted. He would have been the perfect complement for Ben Simmons, obviously, the way he can shoot the ball. But here's my argument for Chris Dunn. I would have done the deal. Shit, man. And clearly, I wasn't the only one that would have wanted to do it. Didn't want to do it. I'm not saying it right. Whatever. I'm just going to say what my argument is. He's a two-way player, and he's exceptional at guarding the perimeter. And here's why this is important, because the NBA is changing. Everybody is shooting the three ball. How did Cleveland shut down Golden State in the NBA Finals? They shut down Clay and Steph on the perimeter. They need a guy like Chris Dunn on this team, I think, so you can take that number one scoring option away. And I think he would have been perfect for us. Now, obviously, the concern is, Ben Simmons and Chris Dunn, they both need the ball in their hands, and that is a concern. But we've seen with Oklahoma City, they've been winning with Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. And the other thing about this trade is you could have kept Jahlil Okafor as well. So, sure, losing Nerlens Noel would have hurt. I mean, you lose your rim protector and a guy that you kind of need, on a team like this. But it's not like Chris Dunn can't play defense either. And he can, penetrate, get to the rim. He can dish. He can just slice through a defense. So I was a huge fan of Chris Dunn, though. So Jamal Murray was probably like my favorite guard, and then it was Chris Dunn, and then there really wasn't too many others I liked. Like, I wasn't really that big of a fan of Buddy Hield or anything.
Yeah, Hield would have been okay on this, but we did a penetration like Chris Dunn. It would have been nice because then you would have had Ben Simmons not only play the point forward, but he could run around much like LeBron does. But ended up Celtics not even taking him. They went for Jaylen Brown for some reason. I was very surprised at that. I don't know if they were even trying to bully us into maybe giving up too much to even get, Chris Dunn. For the thought process is, we're going to take Chris Dunn. Let's see how much the Sixers are going to offer us. Maybe they thought we'd give them the Lakers pick or the swap with the Kings. But it would have been great to have him on the team. And all trade talks are not dead. I mean, I don't want to sit here and act like, this is it. That's the end of it. Because not too long ago, when the Cavaliers drafted Andrew Wiggins, they had him for a couple months and then traded him off to the T-Wolves. So, this hope is not dead yet. There's still maybe a possibility we could trade and get a Chris Dunn or maybe Jamal Murray. Who knows? Depends on how bad they want it.
I do think a Chris Dunn deal can still be made. And here's the reason why. Minnesota and Chicago were engaged in talks last night because Minnesota wanted Jimmy Butler. But apparently, according to David Aldridge, that deal has no chance of happening. Minnesota doesn't want to get rid of Zach LaVine, so that's like the key component of the deal that Chicago wants, apparently. So that deal is not going to happen. Obviously, Minnesota, they have Ricky Rubio. So you have Ricky Rubio and Chris Dunn on the same team. Now, if it were me, I'd rather have Chris Dunn than Ricky Rubio. So maybe part with Rubio, but I don't think a deal isn't out of the woods yet. It could still be possible. We'll see what happens over the next coming weeks, couple months, whatever. So I wouldn't say it's out of the question yet.
And it's crazy to think that Jimmy Butler's a lot more valuable than anybody we have on our team. I at least think so, and they're turning that down. But Minnesota's got to have some leeway. You can't get a great player and give nothing up. So
Yeah.
it all depends what kind of variables that you send to them to get them the sweet spot. I also like that Brian Colangelo didn't give in to any trade that was proposed to him. Like that trash the Rockets were giving us. He didn't break because teams know that they have the leverage over we do because we've got all these bigs. It's a problem. Everybody knows that. But, I'm glad they didn't just, any crap they threw at him, he just didn't break down and be like, oh, we got to get rid of these guys. We got to get players in here. So, kudos to you, Colangelo, for doing that. I give you some props. I'm starting to hate you a little less now.
Well, it kind of reminded me a little bit a couple years ago when they were, almost traded Cliff Lee, and then nothing ever happened. And then Cliff Lee got hurt, and we never traded him. So it never happened. It never materialized. Now, obviously, this is a lot different. We don't have any injury-prone, kind of guys here except for Embiid. But Embiid's not even, part of any trade rumors. So it's Okafor and Noel. I think people are overvaluing Noel. I mean, everybody hated this proposed trade. Mostly, seemed like even the people I was talking to at the draft party last night, they didn't like it.
Yeah, I don't. And we may be overvaluing him, but I don't think so. I think he's got a lot of potential, and I'm not just saying that because he's one of my favorite players, but we're kind of limited on who we have to give up. Our team isn't as deep in great players as we would like. I would like to say because we've got it's either going to be not Embiid. He's got no trade value, but it's either going to be Noel or Okafor. I mean, I would even throw Saric in the mix. He's not going to come over here. Just get rid of him. I'm tired of him being dangled over here. Like, yeah, I'm coming over. You keep hearing yes, and nothing ever happens. Like, put him in a deal. He's got to have some type of value. You know what I mean? He's coming over next year definitely because the money's going to be going up. So I would even try to sweeten the pot with him. See ya. Get out of here. I'm over Saric.
I wouldn't trade Saric. Not yet. Because, you don't want to get less than, what he might be worth. We don't know what he is. So you got to kind of see what you have in him first, I think. Same with Embiid. You're not going to part with them now. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens over the next couple months. I just hope they don't, do something stupid just to make a trade. That proposed Rockets deal. What the fuck? Beverly and Ariza? That's straight trash. Get out of here with that. So.
KJ was in that deal too. KJ McDaniels was in that deal. It's like we traded him to you. Why would we want him back?
Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting. You were bringing up Boston earlier. They probably had the most disappointing draft of the night. I mean, I didn't really like what they did at all.
No, I didn't either. With all that firepower they had, they didn't really do anything impressive at all. And when they drafted Jaylen Brown, there was a lot of hate going on for Danny Ainge. Like, what are you doing? All those selections, and you take Jaylen Brown. I thought he was at least bottom of the top 10, maybe the 7th or 8th pick. Not a top 3 though, man. I mean, that was very baffling, and I know the Boston fans were really upset that they took him too.
Yeah, well, New York fans were pissed about Kristaps Porzingis last year, and he turned out pretty well. So we really don't know what Jaylen Brown's going to be, but we both, we weren't really that high on him. So, hey, time will tell. Let's talk about these other picks that the Sixers made last night. Timothe Lurr and Furkan Korkmaz. Now, unfortunately, these are European guys. So I'm just like you guys. I watch the YouTube clips. And if you say that you watch the EuroLeague, you're full of shit. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, unless there are some people. I don't know really anybody that watches the EuroLeague.
I know one guy, actually. One guy that actually does. But he's a scout. So that's
there you go. It's different. He does it for a living.
Yeah. But we got great value with Luwawu because if you look at a lot of the mock drafts, they had him going in the teens. And just from kind of watching him, very athletic, a lot of length. So that's going to translate, hopefully, on the defensive end. And, I kind of talked about earlier about Chris Dunn and how he can guard the perimeter. Well, this is a guy that might be able to guard the perimeter. If he can have that lateral quickness, if that athleticism can translate into that lateral quickness, I mean, he can be a good one. From what I've seen, he kind of reminds me a little bit of Thabo Sefolosha
Or like a Iguodala. Iguodala's a nice lockdown defender. He's got some length. And what I've read too, this guy can shoot a lot better than Iguodala. Sefolosha's a pretty decent shooter. Not great, but they said he still needs a lot of work. He's a little bit raw on the shooting end, but yeah, he can defend. He could be a lockdown defender. He's got a 7-foot wingspan. He can jam, throw it up in the air. So there's this excitement there too. Him and Ben running on the fast break would be a little fun to watch. And the nice thing is he's guaranteed to come over here and play. I'm all good with taking European players if they come over to play within the next year or two or this year. So that was kind of nice to see. I thought maybe we could have took somebody else at that, but I'm not too upset about taking Luan. This Furkan guy, or I can't even pronounce his name. Yeah, this dude that's playing with Sarek, I don't know. The funny thing is they all have the same agent as Sarek too, so hopefully he doesn't try to talk them from coming out over here and getting paid the big bucks next year.
Yeah, Korkmaz can apparently shoot a little bit. He won a dunk contest because he dressed as Darth Vader. So yeah, we'll see about him. Who are there other prospects you would have taken instead of maybe Korkmaz? I'm completely cool with Luwalu, so I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I liked him. I really would have liked to take a chance on Murray, to tell you the truth. Dejounte Murray. He was still there. He fell to the 30th pick. I would have liked to given him a shot since we were talking about point guards. I thought he would have been a nice fit over there. I'm trying to think who else was there. I mean, we had so many bigs. There wasn't that many, guards over that. Or maybe even use it on Kay Felder. You know what I mean? I would have not minded seeing Kay Felder come into the end of the first round. I mean, God, look, Karis LeVert went, 20th? Which I didn't see him. I thought he was going mid to second round at least. But he jumped all the way to the 20th pick, so why not give a shot on this kid that could shoot straight, flat-out shoot? I mean, that's why LeVert got that drafted, because he was a good shooter minus all the injuries. But give me some Kay Felder, man. Come on.
Some other guys, I thought Demetrius Jackson was like a lock to get picked by us because of, once we didn't get Chris Dunn, I thought maybe they would go after him. And Patrick McCall is the other one that I talked about in the preview of our draft or mock draft that we did.
Yeah.
Because of his ability to defend and shoot the three, and that's kind of what we need on this team. So those were really the two guys I would have liked. I mean, I'm not hating on the Korkmaz pick because he was another guy that went. He was like in the 10 to 20s on a lot of mock drafts. So hey, I'm not going to hate on that either. So I'm all good with what we did.
As long as they come over.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know about if Korkmaz is coming over or not. Apparently, they're all three coming over. We'll see. I mean, we'll see. But, yeah, some guys that went higher than expected. You talk about LeVert. Taurean Prince went 12th.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah, that was a huge surprise to me, man. I mean, I had him at the bottom of the draft. I didn't think he would go that high. That was a huge surprise. Him going that high. I mean, Thon Maker at 10. I mean, you know me. I was a very huge supporter of Thon Maker, but at 10, that was a huge surprise for me. He's a robust talent, but come on. What do you mean?
I'm not going to hate on the Maker pick as much as like Prince and LeVert, but the thing with, it's boom or bust. I mean, if he could be pretty good player too. I mean, he to me is like the same kind of player as Scal Labissiere. Labissiere didn't go till 28th it was, 27th or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he went 28th or something. You know what though? He fits what that Bucks do. They're just all long and athletic.
Yeah.
I feel like you would want to go somewhere else rather than having just the same type of player on your team. Like that's Jabari Parker, that's the Greek Freak, that's Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton can shoot, but they're all just so long. Like I feel like you should have done something else. So especially when you're in the top 10, there was better picks there other than Thon Maker, in my opinion. But I don't know, man. I mean, Sabonis was there. Jacob got taken the pick before, but I don't know. That was a big surprise to me too. There are a lot of European players that got picked really high too, like Gorgias Papaganianis, whatever his name is, Juan Hergomez. Like he went pretty high to Denver. Like this other bull from France, I can't even pronounce, like that Boston took. I can't even, not even going to butcher it.
Yabusele?
Yabusele, like, yeah.
Is it another guy Boston took?
Hellison fell all the way to Detroit at 18. I was very surprised at that.
I wasn't. He's white.
Yeah, but come on. So is Sabonis. Come on, man.
Well, Sabonis is at least see. You got to understand this. I'm cool with Euro players, but white Americans. See, we're not as fundamentally sound as the guys in Europe, as the white guys in Europe. So that's all my deal with that. Ellenson is a guy. I mean, hey, he could drive a little bit. I'm just not high on him. I don't know. I'm just not. That's just me.
I think there's a lot of great intangibles. I mean, we'll see as the time goes on what they become, but I was pretty high on Ellison.
Yeah. Malik Beasley and DeAndre Bembry were two guys I was like kind of targeting, hoping would fall to us. They didn't.
They went high.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of went where I kind of thought they would. I get a little bit. Malik Beasley, I think I had him at 20 in the mock, and he went 19th. Bembry, I had going to us at 24. He went 21st. That's not really that much of a difference.
Oh, higher than where we were picking.
Malachi Richardson went 22. So, yeah, we didn't get any of those guys. But, hey, you know what? Whatever. DeJounte Murray, brought him up earlier. I'm not really big on him, so I was cool with, like, passing on him because he's not – he takes bad shots. I don't know. He turns the ball over a little bit. Doesn't always – make the best decisions. So
young though, young learning curve. I don't know. I like some of his stuff that he brought. I mean, I don't think he would play the point though. I think he would maybe move over to two guard and be like that unconventional two guard and play off of Ben Simmons because we all know Ben Simmons is playing a point forward. I mean,
yeah,
no doubt about it.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Just not my cup of tea. Not my type of player. I was really high on I wanted Beasley real bad. That was the guy because of, again, talked about in the mock draft show, his ability to defend and shoot the three. So he's super athletic. So that would have been a perfect kind of player for us. And Bembry, I like Bembry a lot too. Almost like Beasley a little bit, except he can't shoot the ball. So, but he's going to finish on the break. He's really good in transition, good at filling the lanes, good at catching the ball and finishing at the rim. So I would have liked him, but, it didn't fall to us. And Atlanta, I think Atlanta got themselves a pretty good player there. So
going to take over for Al Horford when he leaves in free agency this year, in next week, I should say. And then they're replacing Mike Conley with Malik Beasley. He got taken there, so they're finding their replacements because I think both those guys are going to leave their respective squads.
Yeah, it seems like Memphis is kind of rebuilding just a little bit. Got a new coach there.
Mm-hmm.
And Atlanta, who the hell knows Atlanta? They're like a wild card because they were talking about trade deadline like they wanted to kind of blow their team up, which was interesting because they won 60 games last year.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they should hire Sam Hinkie and blow it up.
Get it going there. He'll get you fixed up.
Start a new process.
Start the new process down at ATL. I think he'll find another job. Somebody should take a chance on him. I don't know. After what happened here, he's kind of like blackballed throughout the whole NBA.
I thought what the Kings did was interesting because they took the Greek center and they took Scalabissiere, 7-footer. They already got DeMarcus Cousins there. So I don't know if that's like some writing on the wall that maybe Cousins might get traded during. I mean, maybe Cousins doesn't like it in Sacramento. Maybe he wants out or something.
No, that's definitely
interesting because they have other holes than power forward and center.
Yeah, well, they took a center last year in Willie
Cauley-Stein too. Yeah. So why are they taking centers?
I'm thinking they got Scalabissiere to be he's a more offensive-minded power forward to play off of Cousins. He can stretch the floor a little bit. He can shoot. Willie Cauley-Stein's just a guy that can rebound and block shots. So he's more of a bench player than a starter, I think. It's so confusing I think they're the worst run organization in the whole NBA. They've been bad for so long. Their draft picks are always head scratchers. They always reach for guys. I mean, they took Jimmer for that high. Willie Cauley-Stein, I think, was a reach. The only guy they really hit on in the past, 5-6 years has been Boogie Cousins. I mean, I think Ben McLemore was a real big reach. Like Christ, they took Stauskas number 8. So, I mean, I feel bad for Vlade Divac. I think they made a better move this draft. I think that was better for them to do this. And Papalakalopoulous, or whatever his name
Papalakopoulos
is, that Greek center they took with their first pick. He's definitely a stash player. I think they're going to try to go for some guys in the free agency period.
Well, I mean, I will say this because to get Scal where they got Scal, I mean, you can't hate on that. The value that you get there. I mean, this was a kid that was second in the, coming into the freshman season here at Kentucky. He was second ranked, freshman in the whole college, in the entire nation behind Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he just didn't really pan out there at Kentucky. He was very, very soft. He did get better as the season went along, but it wasn't enough to, really convince me that he should have been a lottery pick.
Nah, I wasn't impressed by him. I think he got drafted where he was supposed to. I think he could have even went even lower in the second round, I think. I don't even think he's worth a first-round pick. But he was consensus number 2 overall, and then when I watched him play him, I was very surprised. Wasn't impressed at all with his skills. I mean, it's there. He's just so raw. He should have stayed at college. He should have stayed in another year or two to polish his skills off, but we know how that goes.
Another year would have done him wonders because he was coming on at the end of the year. And another year, man, he could have vaulted into the top 10.
Easily. More money for you. You would have better skills. You would have helped your career go along. But this one-and-done BS, man. Just like Chuck Diallo, same thing happened with him. Came out, didn't do too well, and he ended up being a second-round pick. So,
yeah, I wasn't high on him either. So, and Diallo was a guy that started his season late. I forget what the issue was at Kansas, but there was some eligibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why he started late, and quite frankly, he was another kid that should have stayed in college.
Yep.
So, some of these kids are so dumb, man.
Just the world we live in, man. It's this one and done crap. That's why I hope they pass that rule where they have to stay a second year.
Well, good thing they didn't do that this year because we got Ben Simmons.
Yeah, luckily. If there should be, okay, let me change that.
I agree with you though, because I love the college game, and I think this one and done crap is actually kind of hurting the game.
It is 100%. It's ruining the college game and it's ruining the pros. It's just watering down all the talent. I think they're not ready. They're coming in. They're just going for the money, and it's ruining the leagues. It just shows the inexperience. A lot of these. Yeah, there's going to be some players that don't need to do that, but how rare is that you're going to get a LeBron, a Kobe, players of that nature, KD. There's not many of them. They're generational players. You're not going to get a ton of them all at once. So for the consensus of most of these players, they should make that rule and make it a 2-year deal.
Yeah. All right. So we've basically covered all bases in this show. Any final thoughts before we get out?
I would just want to go back to see, are you guys happy with the pick? And do you think that we're going to try to make a push, or who will we go? Are we going to take care of what our needs in free agency? Who are we going to go after? Because that's coming up July 1st. We got a ton of money to spend, much like the other league does, or the rest of the league does. But we got about $60 million, give or take, so we can give out some max deals. Who do you think we should get? Do we go after Bradley Beal? Mike Conley, who's to say? So I'm interested to see what we do there.
Well, that's another topic for another show. So we'll tease them. Yeah, because we're not going to do that right now. We're not going to give that away. So we'll probably do that next week, like a free agency preview show. So hopefully you guys stay tuned for that. I hope you guys like what you heard today. Let us know in the comment section. Did you like the proposed trade for Chris Dunn? Would you have done it? Are you glad that they didn't do it? So,
are you happy with the European players?
I like Luwawu. I like him. And his last name, I'm giving the nickname Wawa because I know I'm going to fuck up his name. So Wawa just sounds like Wawa. Luwawu, Wawa, same shit. So, yeah, there you go. All right, we're out of here. I'm Adrian Fecchio. That's Kyle Gaffner. Ben Simmons, baby!
We got him.